This is a placeholder song until we replace the old song. This is a placeholder song for Is This Anything?
Morning, guys.
Good morning.
Morning.
Watching, it is earlier today than we normally record, so that's that explains all our morning glows, our respective morning glows.
I feel fine. I mean,
Well, yeah, the crypt is recharging your evil energy.
I don't think I look as bad as Jarret thinks I look.
Yeah, I'm
Just
surprised
all
how
the black.
deep Jarrett's going in. That's
All the black. It's just black everywhere, and then
I'm
just
sorry
your head.
that I'm not in a I don't know, a
heavenly
bridesmaid
spot.
suite.
I think Leedy's literally in heaven. But you look like Cruella there, Leedy.
That is
yeah.
such a compliment. She's
Cruella
freaking
vibes.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
Gorilla vibes.
you got the black white thing going with a little pop of red. Oh yeah, that's awesome.
And I've got my little minion. Milton, where'd you go? I just heard you.
I would Milton. Don't.
She's gonna turn you into a thing. She's gonna turn you into clothing.
Tasty doggy.
She's gonna turn you into a t-shirt, I guess, a short sleeve. Boy, Corella's taste is really fluctuated over the years.
That's the pop of color that I was looking for, Brett, when I was complaining about your Zoom screen.
Is that better?
It's much better.
Well, this is a ferocious
no.
red panda.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
Milton.
Milton.
Looking
Milton.
cute as
So.
hell.
make him a coat.
Oh, he's
Yeah, he looks cold. Make him a coat to wear.
You need a coat. Are you chilly? Do you want to be a coat? How do you feel about fashion? Indifferent.
A coat made of dogs that's wearing a coat. That is an interesting concept, Jarret.
I think
Make my
Milton
dog
feels-
a coat. And then Cruella was like, okay. And then she like slices the dog open, picks its skin.
Now that's a good origin story. Just one really bad miscommunication.
Oh,
I
Her
need
boss.
100 dog coats.
Her boss was like, the customer is always right. Repeat after me. The customer's always right. Whenever they ask for, you do it. You hear me? She's like, or it's your job. It's your job. You hear me? Okay, sure. I want you to make my dog a coat.
But they sent me 101 Dalmatians. So what was I supposed? Obviously, it's like, no, you were supposed to fit them. That was for a fitting.
Ooh, boy, oh boy. How's our sound, everybody? How are we doing?
Great question. You guys sound great to me.
The way you look right now, Brett, if you zoomed out and we discovered you were in a coffin, I would not be surprised.
fuck off.
It's literally the same background I always have for my Zoom.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by this whole line of reasoning, Jarret.
No one else thinks he looks like the fucking understudy for Chris Angel right now.
If the understudy for Chris Angel was hot.
Yeah,
Aw, thank you, Leedy.
he is. I've seen the show on and off night.
Jarret, you look like you're getting your nails done off screen.
I don't get that. Explain this to me. Is it because of
Because
this?
everything's so white. It's so light. So obviously there's somebody painting your toenails off screen. I mean, you are also sitting at the end of a bed. Actually, mine has so much more credence than yours.
First of all, yeah, Brett is at least in the same spot that he almost always records him. You were at the foot of a bed like we're at a slumber party, which is kind of fun.
Well, that's fine because my joke today has to do with boys.
Yay, boys. I have so many different ideas. I don't think any of them are like solid or good, but I'm trying to think about which one to pick.
Well, that's great. That's great. I won't say anything more about the way that Brett's Zoom screen looks. So we can get to catch up.
Nice.
Okay.
Catching up. What's going on with you guys?
Well, I've been tanning and working on getting some good rest and sprucing up the place.
Getting a lot of rest during the day and going out at night.
All right. All right. I had a real adventure yesterday. Have been looking for the last like 2 weeks. Leedy and we played a split screen game when she was here, and it was called Borderlands. And we couldn't like see because it was split screen. We like couldn't see some of the like missions and stuff. And I was like, okay, I think it's time to get a new TV because I need to get a bigger TV. So I've been looking for a bigger TV on Marketplace and OfferUp and Let Go, and I have alerts set on my phone for all these deals because I'm like trying to find a good deal on a TV, and they're pretty expensive. Finally, I found one on Marketplace for 65-inch TV. And I'm like, okay, great. I'm like, hey, I can come pick this up tonight. Is that cool? Because it had just been listed. The guy's like, yeah. I go to pick it up. It's a bit of a sketchy situation picking something up from Facebook Marketplace in general, but I'm like in an alleyway with Rottweilers barking at me and like cars parked in a way that you're like, there's no real system here. Just things that to make you concerned. And I'm like, oh boy. But the guy comes down. He has his brother with him to carry the TV. And I'm like, uh-oh. I don't think I thought about how big a 65-inch TV is. And I am in my sedan, my Honda Accord. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, all right, here, let me take it from you. I pay you the money, get you inside because I'm about to struggle. I know it. And I don't want people involved in this. It took me about 50 minutes. 50.
Oh my God.
Because this should not have fit in my car. I was driving with my knees against the dashboard, and I had to have both doors. I had to have 3 doors open, including the passenger side door.
Oh my God.
In order to get it so the doors could close eventually, but I would have to move a seat up, alter it, like move the TV one way to get it slightly in, then go around to the other side, move it a little bit more, then like hook one of the footholds over, like recline the seat, unrecline the seat. I just had to, and it took me that long. I was so sweaty and anxious. These dogs are barking at me. And I was also like, I am going to break this TV and lose all the money I just spent because I shouldn't do this. But I also am like, I don't know what my other alternative is. Leave it in the alleyway and then call an Uber XL. Like I don't know what to do here. So I'm like, I just got to do this. And I just through sheer determination was able to get it into the car and drive home like this. There was one point where I had 2 doors, like one door closed and it was sticking out the other one, and I could get the door like mostly closed, but still maybe like 8 inches. And I was like, I could take this wire hanger and make sure it stays closed, but I'm like, I'm gonna get pulled over, and if I get pulled over, it definitely looks like I just stole this TV. So I just
No, I got it from
I found it in a sketchy alleyway. It's okay. It's fine.
These 2 guys, they had it. We had to go to the back door. That's so funny.
Anyways, now I got this huge TV. I'm so excited.
That's so
about
awesome. I can't wait. Hey! I'm so glad.
Steve Hofstetter.
I'm so glad you didn't wind up losing the TV. Otherwise, we would have had to start a GoFundMe and get you 17 televisions.
So I left the TV in an alleyway, and now I own a movie theater. It's so funny that you said that thing about the sketchy guys and the pit bulls and the face, because I just listened to a news story about how Facebook Marketplace is just like this massive crime location, basically. On it, like there are so many more people who do what you just did, Brett, and then get robbed or murdered than are people who do successful transactions. According to this news story,
that's what I normally use it for. But this time, I'm trying to get TV.
I was gonna say that's why you look like that, because you're dead.
It's like one of like the little boxes, like murder, non-murder. No, what that? Between price range 50 to 90. Yeah.
Oh wait, I do say I must say that I've been in that situation a bunch. Ugh, what, Steve?
Leedy, look out! Steve, pull up a mic, man.
What are you eating creepily behind me? M&M's. Oh.
Steve, do you want to do an episode? You could join in.
Yeah. Pull up a mic, man, if you got time.
Well, Leedy's using his mic.
I am using his mic. kid.
I'm just Leedy's drawing something horrific, and I'm
Is it you standing behind her? Because it seems pretty horrific from here.
yeah, actually,
Is the content of
I'm
it
looking into
horrific?
a mirror with a mirror behind you.
It's okay. I'm gonna get my revenge when I make his dog into a coat. We'll be fine. Oh, he didn't like that. Let's get away.
Where the hell did Rob go?
I'm sorry.
If Rob shows up on Leedy's screen, I'm gonna be.
I'm
there you go.
prepping for my check-in.
Oh, I'm so excited. Is it show and tell check-in?
It is a little show and tell, yeah. I don't know if you're gonna be excited about it, Leedy.
I really
Alright.
thought you were gonna come back in full Middle East garb again.
Just got my bits fixed up. It's so early in the morning. But off screen, there's just like a whole wardrobe of random.
As I was saying before Steve started being weird,
Hey, Mills.
is that I have been in that situation a bunch of times where you're just like, all right, the only thing I have to get me out of the situation is my determination and my own brain and my own body, and then you just have to sort of like muscle through and just like solve the problem, and it's like exhausting and terrible, but there's also a part of your brain that's just like, I did it.
Oh
Yeah.
Well,
I
and I'm like,
succeeded.
as I'm like maneuvering this thing, and it's because it's a length, it will bend a little bit, and you're like, am I breaking the screen right now? I'm doing the math of like, if I had spent basically what I saved on Facebook Marketplace is like maybe $150 to $250, but I'm like, at this point I would pay $250 to know that I'm not breaking this TV and that it's brand new and stuff like that. But I'm like, I'm all in. I'm gonna do this. If I have to accept the consequences here if I fuck it up. And when I got home and I got it up and I plugged it in and it was all perfect, I was like, fuck yeah.
That's awesome.
Brett called me as soon as he had done all of that, and the relief in his voice was
Oh,
so
wow.
like palpable. You could feel that he was just like, I did it. I'm done. I did it.
Yeah. I was exhausted. I carried it up the stairs by myself, and like also like I'm like, not only am I just exhausted, but like I got a huge TV and I'm alive. Like both of those things are the best. Like this could have gone completely the other way. I could have had no TV and been dead.
By the
You
way,
really chose. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Rob.
Steve, I really hope you retweet this episode because you're.
Oh yeah,
you're-
this is this anything with guest Steve Hofstetter for the SEO alone after this much time on screen?
Everyone watches like, what the fuck? He didn't say anything. He didn't do anything.
I'm not here to participate. I just want to know what the context of the joke that Leedy is drawing is, because she's drawing a picture of Brett murdering both of the two of you.
No.
That's not what it is.
That's, I mean,
Halloween.
It is detailed.
I get
based
it.
off of the beginning of the episode, it actually would work.
I know.
Because that was Garrett's riff.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye, Steve. Love you.
Speaking of which, where are your fucking windscreens?
We went over this last time. They are not with me. I don't have.
Why? We
What?
didn't go over why.
Yeah, we did. I said I didn't want to put it in my bag because I thought it would get ruined. I thought it would get squished or ripped or something.
You know, it'd be okay though if you had 17 more, which you made fun of quite a bit.
We did. He's got us.
It
I
would get
promise
ruined.
you.
It's you just fold it. It's the easiest thing. I could put it in a Tic Tac. No, it's like the size of a Tic Tac if you fold it up.
The last time that I went on the road, I put the windscreen in my luggage.
With my razor
And-
blades.
Wait, what? With my razor blades? With my moth collection. Mothsy, anyways. I forget how many episodes we did on that trek, how many things were recorded while I was on while me and Leedy were on that trip together, and Brett as well. But I remember that when I needed to set up, I went into my bag and I looked for the windscreen. I couldn't find it, and I was always rushed. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm just doing this without the windscreen. And then I found it when I got home and I was unpacking, and I was like, oh, there it is. So I was just like, well, it's fine if I don't have it on the trip, and it's just going to get lost in my luggage again, and maybe it'll get ripped or something. So I'll just leave it home.
Okay, Rob,
Yeah, Rob, where's your windscreen?
Listen, this is
I have
bullshit.
mine.
All that is bullshit. It's the easiest thing to pack. And the whole reason I bought them is because this microphone is very good for the price, but it's bad with plosives, and that's what the windscreen protects against. So all I want to say is fuck you guys. That's all.
Wow.
I just won't use any plosives.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you just used one in the word plosive.
Which is
Was there a pop?
Yes.
No, there was not. I guarantee you this was not. Look at Rob. He's crushing it.
how do I sound?
He has a windscreen on.
Yeah. now I do.
My beard is a windscreen. I travel around with a windscreen on my face. That's very exciting, Brett. That is a very exciting story. And I'm glad you got a big TV.
Yeah, that's
you.
awesome.
Mm-hmm. Rob, what's going on with you, buddy?
Well, I am back now at the apartment that you recognize, maybe with the red walls and there's the comic books on the other side.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna show you right now, but I had a big project that I wanted to do, and a friend of mine really helped me out with it. Where I went to my dad's house for a little bit, and I unearthed all these Nintendo and Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis games. And I asked him. Now he has been in the process before he collects NES games, and he's like, "Oh yeah, man, I got the tools at my apartment. Crack them open, clean up the pins with some Brasso, a little alcohol, put them back together, clean up the whole, and then you can get brand new games." Like he was just explaining to me how, as kids, we were just like, maybe we blow on it. I don't know. It's like the metal brass like pin connectors get really dirty, not just like a little bit of a dust. Like legitimately, you have to scrub them. He's like, so why don't you just come over? We'll bring the games. We'll clean them up. So we are only about halfway done, but we spent it's not yesterday, but 2 days ago, the entire day. I'm talking, we woke up, it was around 8:30 in the morning. We're like, all right, we got some breakfast, and we just cleaned video games for about 10 hours.
Oh my God.
Us
And you're
sitting-
still only halfway done?
Yeah, because we got through like 65 of them, but I have
Oh my God.
I have like another 70 or so. So
I
yeah,
have to hear about this a fourth time on the next episode. feel like
exactly. So now this is part 3 of 4, and we've got the video games. We've got Metal Gear, Castle Quest. I've got my
right.
Link games. Very excited about it. So
right. What's the
stay
plan?
tuned for the stunning conclusion.
The plan is just to have clean games. Like you're not even planning on playing them.
I
It's
didn't
like
really
now they're
think that
clean.
well, I'm sure that you could sell those, at least some of them. I'm sure once they're all cleaned up.
What I think the plan is well, first of all, there's just a bunch of games that I want to play. I haven't played in a while. And then when that subsides and I feel like, oh, that was fun, I will. Well, okay, so my friend actually, he was interested in some of my games. I felt like a kid again. He was like, oh, you gonna hold on to that second copy of Mega Man X you got there? So he has the Retron 5 or Retron 4 or 3, whatever the number is. And it's a console that has a Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, and Nintendo all in one console, and it has an HDMI port, so it upgrades the video quality to a bigger screen television with like minimal pixelation. So it's really great. It's just like if you want to do exactly this, which is just have some old games, you don't really want to think too much about it, you just want to plug and play. It is an excellent option, and it's only like $100. So he has one, and he's like, but he also has all the original consoles. He like went through the process of putting in new pin connectors for his Nintendo and his Super Nintendo. He's got these like excellent consoles: Nintendo, Sega, Super Nintendo, N64, and GameCube. So he was like, "Hey man, I don't actually need this. If I ever feel like I want one again, maybe I'll just buy one. But I give you mine, but I take a couple of these games that I'm interested in as well." So we just kind of traded up. I gave him a game called SWAT Cats, which I have never heard of, but he was just like, "You have SWAT Cats?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't even think I've ever played it." Okay.
A completely unplayed virgin SWAT cat. Do you have any idea how much this is worth?
This is The white edition?
And then he like cools down. He's like, okay, well, then I'll just take the SWAT cats off your hands and
Yeah, no big deal. I mean, whatever. Like, I don't care. Not that big of a deal.
they're cats that are like part of a SWAT team. I'm very confused. So it was the 90s.
Well, that was
Or are you supposed to
in
SWAT cats? What's a SWAT?
that was in like our like age range of like everything that was marketed to us as kids was some kind of animal that was anthropomorphized and then was fighting in some way. So
no.
like
What about
Battletoads.
Animorphs? Oh, right.
Battletoads, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, shark, something with sharks. What was the shark thing?
Wasn't there like shark cops or something?
Yeah, they're like shark cops or something like that. Yeah, everything was just like,
Yeah.
let's give it a job and make it a human animal.
Possum plumbers.
I can't wait till I grow up to become an animal doing something.
And then you wonder why there are furries, you know?
So yeah, we made the trade. So now I have the Retron 4 or whatever, and plays the games great. But I still got quite a ways to go. I've got about 60 or 70 games left. So there's Nintendo, Super Nintendo, so a couple N64s and stuff. But it is very satisfying.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, of course.
When you have that day where everything's clean and you're like, okay, I'm gonna play. There's this one game that I used to love and I haven't played it yet, and I'm so excited. Look up, try to figure out the year that you would have played that, or like maybe find the release year of it. Then look up the top Billboard songs of that year. And then either sandwich it or bookend it with listening to some nostalgia music and just have a whole nostalgia day.
It's so cool. I love that idea. I kind of phonied that a little bit already when we were cleaning it. I was like, I put on like a little early 90s mix playlist thing. That was kind of fun.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I love that. That's a great concept.
I would add on to that you should eat whatever you were eating at the time, but knowing your diet, you do that anyways.
I love it. Yeah, so one of my bigger plans too is that my brother doesn't know about any of this, and he doesn't watch the podcast, I'm pretty sure. So he loves these old games, and he's like purchased an emulator, and he's done these other things in order to be like, oh, I'm gonna play this game, and so he's tried to recapture some of these experiences. But this is pretty much like 90% of all the games we've ever had. So I pretty much have all of them. So next time he comes to New York, I'm trying to cajole him to get over here sometime during the holiday season. And I'm just going to like unveil all this shit to him. Be like, you can play whatever the hell you want. My dad knows about it too. My dad's been interested in 3 games. He loves Castle Quest. He loves this game Shadowgate and Rygar. So those are the only 3 games he's interested in. So once those are clean and ready to go, I'm going to show him those as well. And it'll be great. And then after that, I'll continue to play him. I don't mind. But mostly I'll just hold on to him just the same way I've been holding on to him. So,
Because then one day they'll get dirty again and you can clean them again.
Yeah. And then I can listen to some 2021 music while I do it and be like, oh, man, remember Machine Gun Kelly? Yeah. So sad what happened to him.
By then, there will be a video game that is Game Cleaners. And you can just play that instead.
Squid Game Cleaners. You squids and you clean games.
Ooh, I also watched what I think is the precursor to Squid Game, or what Squid Game definitely copied off of.
Battle Royale?
No, funnily enough, it's called Animal World. Animal World. And it has Michael Douglas in it, which is really weird because he starred in a movie called The Game with Sean Penn, where he was the victim of a certain game. I don't know if you guys ever watched the movie. It's excellent. I like it a lot, so I recommend. Have you guys seen The Game? Michael Douglas, Sean Penn.
It's very good.
Yeah,
I love The Game.
Jarret, what's going on with you, buddy?
So Leedy and I are on tour. I got one more week left on the road, and then I am back home in New York. We are in the middle of a 4-day stretch of no shows, which is very rare for Steve Hofstetter tours. And for the 3 days of the 4 days that we are off, Steve rented a vacation home in Boca with a pool and a jacuzzi. And it's been nice, but I will say this, that I have never, Leedy's showing the house.
Wow.
and the
That's
pool
awesome.
and everything. I will say this. It's a great place to bunker down for a couple of days off, enjoy the sun, enjoy the weather, enjoy the pool. But I have never been comfortable in any Airbnb. They are all slapdash abominations of furniture that does not work together. Just everything, like weird things are broken, weird things are missing in every Airbnb that I've ever been to. That's the reason why I'm on the floor right now, is because whoever installed the blinds in here screwed up and they can only go an inch up. So it's either completely dark or just like it cracked open an inch. I was able to use one of those binder clips to try to like clip it up a little higher, but still the only way you're going to get light on my face is if I'm sitting on the floor. So again, just like
and also it's a good place to gossip about boys.
That's right. It's a good place to gossip about boys. So yeah, so I am firmly team hotel. Just for some reason, maybe it's just
Get
being
Steve back on screen.
maybe it's just being an old person, but I find myself so bothered by the sort of slapdash nature of every room in an Airbnb, where they're just like, yeah, here's a sign that says live, laugh, love. Here's a dresser that doesn't match anything. Here's and then just weird. Everything is like empty except for like certain drawers. Like, I don't know. It just really bugs me.
Yeah, my door didn't close for the first day. That was fun. Just weird things don't work.
Yeah. There's like an app that we're supposed to use for the pool that does not work. We've had to call the host like 3 times. I still have no idea what the deal is with it. Like, if we have to call them up.
You're supposed to jump in the pool. There's no...
I'm pressing the button and I'm still dry.
Some dude came over and just put me in the pool. I was like, thank you, Jesus. Fucking apps. Can't believe nothing works in Airbnb. Nothing works in these Airbnbs.
How do I use the bed? I'm still on the floor.
Never again. I don't like Airbnbs if I can avoid it. Never again.
Never again. Next time I'm booking Steve's tour accommodations.
Steve, get in
I'm
here.
never gonna choose to do an Airbnb in my life if I can help it.
Wait, what about the Airbnb for Kirsten's birthday?
I hated it.
Really... Oh, you did?
Yeah, I hated it. I found it very uncomfortable.
Oh, I was only there for like a few hours. So
yeah, we managed to make it as comfortable as we could
by taking a lot of drugs.
By taking a ton of drugs.
Like, this is actually great.
We had fun, but like that. You know how that living room had like one cozy chair that everybody fought over?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the reason for that is because everything else was super uncomfortable. It was weird.
Yeah, it's true. Just taking the time to look into like comfortable furniture and stuff like that. It's like there's so much furniture that looks comfortable, like budget furniture, that it like you realize why people spend more on furniture once you buy it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I'm spending a large amount of time in this. And you would do that for your own home. But if you're just putting together an Airbnb, you're like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I got to get a Herman Miller chair for this. You're like, I'm gonna get this $100 office chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have just like, I was just gonna say, you have like weirdly large empty spaces because they didn't take into account like how big the room is. They just threw things in there.
Yeah.
The TV in the living room downstairs is a country mile from the sofa. It's just like, because it's like empty space. It's just like empty space right in the middle of the room, for nothing,
There should be like a filter, like a feng shui filter for assholes like you, or something.
Ow!
He's been hitting us all morning, Leedy.
That's true. That's true. Jarret's very claws out sassy today. Yeah. It's because he's getting his nails did. When you get your nails did, you want a dish. And
you feel like a pretty prince over here.
I think I agree with you that I think Airbnb has sort of like evolved similarly the way Uber evolved, where like when it first started, the people who used it were just like, this is great. I can use, like I just have to make sure that everything looks and feels good, and it's like I'm running my own business, and it's there. And then after a couple of years, it just like devolved right into like, get in the fucking car. This is This is just what it is. We're going.
Mhm,
I don't get paid enough. And then Airbnb, same deal. Just like pristine, dusting everything. Is everything okay? Perfect. You know, I can make side income on the couple of days that I leave versus just the straight up capitalist mindset of people just coming and being like, yeah, this will fucking work. All right, chair, bed. Move on to the next one. I got 27 of these. I gotta get ready by Friday, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That fucking annoys the shit out of me too. Like the fake, you know, like, oh, this property's owned by Jan who lives down the road. And it's like, no, this is owned by Jan Core. You know, the woman in the picture is a stock photo, you know. Yeah. And then when you go there and you look at the like little welcome book, it's like, you know, it's like, thanks for coming to 85 Riverdale Street, a vacations property, you know, or whatever. Ugh.
The pictures of Jan are all photoshopped. Same image comped onto different backgrounds.
Yeah, this is really like it's become like a thing. Like this is it's an impulse that has just been slowly growing in my body where I want my spaces to be comfortable in a way that I didn't have it when I was young. And, you know, when I'm young, I moved to New York City and I'm looking around at all these gritty streets and pre-war buildings. And I'm like, yeah, this city's real. The city's got, you know, history. It's got life, you know. And now I see like a brand new stucco mini mall that has like a Panera in it. And I'm like, this is nice. I like this. I want to live near here. You know, I don't care about authenticity anymore.
Yeah, but also like it's similar to like customizing a bus where it's like minivans are designed by engineers and they're tested for consumer consumption, like mass consumption. It's like there's a reason that this is mass produced and there's a lot of money going into making sure that it is comfortable.
Yes.
And that it's like meant for human beings. It's all the little things that you don't think about until you need it. Oh, it'd be nice if I could adjust the seatbelt up and down. Oh, I can, you know, like all these things that you don't really take into consideration until it's already designed, you know? And so to have it designed before you need to think of that and be like, oh, you know, it would be helpful to have people who actually have gone through the process of being like, what would I want when I'm driving for 8 hours? Like that is, or what do I want in a space that I'm going to be eating in? Like it's nice to have that all
thought of by professionals.
Yeah.
I love this like long form sort of breakdown of why like Jarret likes things the way they are, etc. It's almost like, I can't explain it. It's like the more thought out, more lengthy version of I just like things the way they were. I don't understand. But the music's gotta be so loud. Like it's the feeling is the same, but it's so like, yeah, like it's a well reasoned argument. I kind of like understand like an older generation and their complaints, but they just weren't good at articulating.
Jarret is one Airbnb from Make America Great Again.
Look at this. This dresser's weird. The layout's weird. And you know whose fault it is? Immigrants. They're coming here. They're buying our property. They don't know how to put together a nice white household. You know? What am I at a quinceañera party? Jesus.
Dad.
What? I'm just saying what everyone's thinking.
So funny.
Boy.
You're trying to use your pool app and it's not working. Thanks a lot, Obama.
Brett's like, I gotta help my dad with the pool again.
Did you try plugging it in and plugging it back in? Ellie, do you have anything you want to add about our tour, about this last stretch, Leedy?
Yeah. We went to go see The French Dispatch yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And John Banter. And we should have seen something else in theaters. We should have watched that, you know, just in our own houses or something. It was fun to watch, but we should have gone to see something that wasn't as Jarret described, dense. Because it's like a story in multiple parts, loosely connected by a plot, which was cool. But it was just like, well, it's what it sounded like. But
Yeah, we didn't need to see that on the big
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Off-White Wall now available on jarrettberenstein.com
That's true.
because that's a bunch of things that are loosely connected.
That's true.
It's great though. It's fantastic. I wish I could see it in theaters.
What was neat about it is there's a story in the middle about a painter who's in jail right now. And it was the coolest part of the whole thing for me. And I left the theater and I immediately wanted to go paint because I can't just watch things and enjoy them. I have to do something with my hands.
Okay.
So I went back to the Airbnb and I was really wishing I had like actual real paints. So I don't. So instead I started planning out what I'm going to do when I have actual paints. And I'm really excited about it. Although this is very quickly going to turn into a Leedy is going to rant. But
I like it.
I am planning out multiple different paintings that I'm going to make.
Ooh.
And then at the end, I'm going to
Ooh.
make a painting of people looking at them as if they were all in a gallery. So
Ooh.
painting of the paintings in a gallery.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very, very meta / a Facebook company.
Sure.
As soon as you realized that this story was going to be about a painter, this little mini story, did Jarret and John both go, eh? Eh?
No.
Oh, that's what I would have done.
It's funny you should say that because one of the other stories was about like a bunch of students in Paris like organizing a liberal revolution. So they could have then elbowed me and been like,
I think I did when we. Oh wait, no. What it was is one character was the crazy jailed artist. Is he's going off the rails. So he's drinking just gallons of mouthwash, and then I went, Jarret, that's you.
For those of you who don't know, when I'm on tour, I need to bring a special mouthwash with me because of my chronic gingivitis. And it is a regular thing of me being like, I don't have an extra hand because I have to hold my special mouthwash. Yeah, we didn't need to see that on the big screen, but it was still fun to see a movie,
I wish more movie reviewers reviewed like Leedy, you first said, like, you should go see something else. That's it. I don't know why. Just go see something else. Watch this at home.
As the movie was starting, and I could tell it was going to be a little bit more of a meandering and like high art Wes Anderson movie, something a little bit closer to the not as entertaining as a Moonrise Kingdom or Grand Budapest Hotel, but more of the artistic
Budapest
ones, the Budapest, the Darjeeling Unlimited.
Pakistan.
The Life Aquatic ones.
We know his fucking movies, Jarret. What's the story?
So
Mount Rushmore.
less Rushmore, less Royal Tannenbaums. I think I named them all.
Jason
Less
Schwartzman,
Bottle Rockets.
Owen Wilson.
Oh no, that was P.T. Anderson. All right. Oh, well, we should name his movies too. Why not?
I was like, oh no, this is a Life Aquatic. This is a Darjeeling Unlimited. Oh boy.
Anyway, so what did you do once you realized that?
Oh, then I was just like, well, this is the movie I'm watching right now.
I
I didn't
you would,
do
like,
anything. I
have-
just settled into the realization.
I thought you would have like, oh, I know what's going on, and then you reach into your like trench coat of edibles, and you're like, yeah, I got this.
Oh no, that had happened before we even left for the movie theater.
Yeah,
That
he
was-
was on his way to the fair a long while.
Yeah. I have just been at the fair this whole week, which is, ever since we got to Boca, I've been at the fair. Which
And
is
I
nice.
didn't realize that when Jarret's at the fair, when he says, "Could you help me with something?" What he means is, "I'm very hype right now. I need guidance."
What did I
need
say? What did I say
guidance."
that for?
When there was the Uber?
Oh yeah. We were. So Leedy and I did not bring anything to swim in, and there's a pool here, so we wanted to go to Walmart and get some cheap swim stuff. And Leedy got the car there, so I was like, "Oh, I'll get the car back." That way, it'll be we both spent the same amount of money. But the app put me in the wrong location. The app was like, "Are you here?" And I was like, "Sure." I didn't think about it, but then when I saw the actual map, I was like, "Oh my god, that's like 20 blocks away from where we actually are. So I was trying.
Did
there
you
was
put
an
in
option.
Boca Raton, New Jersey, or did you put in?
We're in East Orange somehow.
Oh, God. Brett's like, what are you doing here? Ah, no.
But it's good you're here because I need help with this television. And so there's an option to edit your pickup location, but it just wasn't working, or there's like a limited amount of space that you're allowed to move the pin. And so I just had like to cancel the ride, and I was worried it was going to happen again. So I was just like, Leedy, I need you to, could you just do this? Because I don't know. I'm just going to cancel it. So yeah, Daddy was at the fair, so he could not reorder that car.
Cool. Well, should we get to the jokes then?
Yeah,
I think we should get to the jokes.
My
Yeah.
favorite
Alright.
segment.
I mean,
Alright.
this time it really feels like that. Like this does just feel like a minor blip potentially of the show because we had a lot of catch up. We haven't talked.
We had a
in
lot of
while.
catch up to
Not all
do.
the
Yeah.
4 of us.
Did you guys have fun with the Patreon episode yesterday?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty fun.
For me, I thought it was very fun. I really enjoyed it a lot. No, like not. It was just like it felt like a catch up without somebody chiming in trying to make it feel like a catch up.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're talking
That's
about.
it felt really nice. It was just like I would say something, and then someone interjected. Oh, let's talk about that. And then we talk. It was just like this great flow of a conversation. I didn't feel timed. I didn't feel like my Nintendo story wasn't good enough. Like it just was. It just felt nice. It was just like, oh, this is great.
You were not made to feel like any of your stories weren't good enough yesterday, Rob?
Yeah.
All right, I'll work on that.
Yay.
I mean, making you feel like your stories aren't good enough. Like if I didn't do it yesterday, I apologize.
But anyway,
I was really derelict in my duties.
I also love the clarification of like, no, don't just accept that. I'm being an asshole. You have to understand. Let's not just move past that.
Yeah, I wanted you to laugh. I didn't want you to go, oh, Jarret, that's so sweet. What a good friend. All right. You guys
What's
ready
our
for
order
our
for today? Yeah.
Our order is Rob, Jarret, Brett.
All right.
Rob, Jarret, Brett.
I've
Rob,
got,
Jarret, Brett.
you made me think of an idea while you were telling one of your stories because I'm just going to say it right now. You said, either Brett or Jarret, I forget whoever said 50. That was you, Brett, right? 50, 50.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So 50, 50. And I just thought about how many times in my life that people, when they say the word 50, they say 50. It's just like almost, it just has to go with. And I'm just wondering other situations where people would, I need 50 cc's, 50 cc's.
Yeah, there really needs to be a different one of 50 or 15 have to change.
Yeah, exactly.
One of them has to do something like maybe they could take a book out of Latina and just be 15s.
I love that. I was also thinking of scenarios where obviously it's not needed, but people still say it anyway. Like, oh, my dad turned 50 last week. So those are the 2 jokes I came up with while Brett was yakking about something.
Wow, everyone's sassy today.
50 is actually how many times Rob's going to tell us about his games. So. I like that. I think it's a very relatable. As soon as you said it, I was like, oh yeah, like that's a thing that I've never thought about it, but yeah, it's an annoying language thing. I think it would be very relatable. I think there's a lot you can do with that. I don't know how you would want to get into it specifically. I would just say, the other day somebody said this, and I was like, man, that is a problem for everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
I
But
could also
especially-
work in
15 should be changed to 15 because it's 14, 16, 17. 15 is not 5. Does that make sense?
I like the idea of just saying quince for no reason and then like right back to it. 11, 12, 13, 14, quince, 16. Like
That's how the streets in New Mexico genuinely are set up.
Oh, really? They're just back and forth between
Yeah.
English and
languages?
Spanish.
Yeah.
That's really
It's
funny.
also funny because it kind of like when you say 50, you feel a little dumb, like you're almost like you're sounding it out. You're like 50. Yeah, that's right.
Ooh, you know what's a good phrasing maybe? You ever have to spell numbers?
Yeah, that's excellent.
When you're like 50. Why are you spelling my numbers? I know what 50 is. Yeah, you're like a kindergartner.
I'd be like 15, 1 5. 1 5.
1 5.
Oh, here's one. She was only 50.
I'm not spelling that for you.
What if you were telling a story about some girl you hooked up with and you were like, she was 15 years old? Then you're like, there's no good number.
Yeah.
There's no good version. Either one are bad. Different reasons.
I'm sorry, did you say 15 or 50? Because I hope it's neither.
Yeah, right.
50, 2 8.
I don't see 60 happen nearly. I don't think people don't do it.
Yeah, it's because it has the word 6 in it instead of 15, which has the word fifth in it.
Yeah.
If it was
Well, no, but
15 and 50, it would not be
still
confusing.
It's still 16 and 60.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's the
because
same.
6.
But the confusing part is the end, not the.
I
like,
disagree.
still,
I disagree.
50 and 15 are still spelled exactly the same.
So if it was 5T and 5teen, you think it would be just as fine? Jarret?
No, you don't need to touch 50. You just have to change it to 15.
I agree. What I'm saying is that 60
Mhm.
should be equally as confusing, but I don't think that it is.
Because of the way that you go into it, you emphasize the teen in 16.
Okay. 16 versus 50, 15. All right, yeah, because the accent's on the first syllable for 50 and 15, and it's kind of a trail off. We're not always catching the end, as opposed to 16, you are accenting the second syllable. Yeah,
So
100%.
maybe then all we have to do is change our accent, and so when you say 15, you have to say 15.
15. She was 15, Your Honor.
Her mom was 50.
But she was 15.
Whatever. I'm giving you 1 5 to life. All right.
Someone's getting a 50-year or a 15-year sentence, which are both terrible. And the judge is like, I sentenced you to 15 years. And he's like, 50? And he's like, no, 15, 1 5. And he's like, oh. Still bad.
Although if you do the accent on the teen, it sounds like you're having like an epiphany every time, or like you're making some kind of deduction or something like that. Like 15. You sound like a Muppet or something.
That's really funny.
15.
15.
You want me to go into a boring tangent about language and in Chinese or Mandarin?
You didn't let us. You didn't let us respond.
So in Mandarin,
Do you want me to go into a boring tangent? Here we go.
so in Mandarin,
Woo, 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 woo. This is a callback to the episode yesterday.
whatever, I was telling a long meandering story.
There's a group
Cops are
of
coming for me.
there's a group of police that try to catch Rob whenever he starts a meandering story.
Oh no, it's a runaway story.
So numbers are really difficult for kids to learn in English specifically because of the fact that we change the language of it. So it's almost like learning vocabulary words every single time. We don't know what 12 means because we can't connect, or kids can't connect the pieces that 1 and 2 put together make the weird number that is 12. And Mandarin's usually picked as a prime example of a good way to use language and math, where not only are the number names very, very short, so they're all one-syllable words, so they're just very easy to get to put together. But then when they start combining words in the teens and the 20s, etc., it's always 1 10 3, and then 2 10 3 is 23, and 3 10s 3 is 33, and 4 10s 3 is 43, like that. So not only are they learning the language of these words, but then they're also like tacitly understanding multiplication on top of it. Whereas we have words like 15, where it's just like there's no connection really, other than 5 kind of sounds like fifth, and I guess teen is like a 10, but there's an extra E, and it just kind of like slows development down at an early age, and it's not something we should do. That's it.
Or we could teach our children Latin before we teach them math.
That's not a bad idea.
That's a bad idea.
They'll learn a dead language and then they'll.
What if we changed all of our number language to Mandarin? And everything else is the same, but every time we needed to talk about numbers, we just were in Mandarin.
I'm okay with that.
Here's something I wonder about, Rob. Maybe you have some insight or have thought about this. So in Chinese, tone is part of communication in terms of the actual meaning of a word. The same phonetic pronunciation in a different tone has different meanings. I think the word ma has like 5 or 6 different meanings depending on what tone you have it. But I always wonder, like, I wonder how that affects culture and how that affects like humanity. You know, is it harder to communicate emotion? Is it easier to communicate emotion? Do you have to be more clear? Is it harder to read people? Like, I really, really wonder about that. It just seems so bizarre to me and something I can't really wrap my head around.
Yeah. I think the implications are worth an entire podcast episode, you know, in and of itself, because you're right. There's like, do you have to pay attention more in conversation and really tune into your partner because there are all these subtleties in the language? I would probably argue, yeah, all that's very true. I'm only familiar with it in like a business sense where you could learn the language, but you could really offend somebody by speaking in such a way that makes it seem like you are above them or you are beneath them or there's all these different formal levels of that language where you're like, yeah, you know how to speak, but you're like, that's not how you speak to your family. That's how you'd speak to your boss. And that's not how you speak to your boss. That's how you speak to your friend. And you're just like, I don't know. You know, there's a lot of that wrapped around that culture that I'm aware of. I was always thinking about incorporating more sign language into our vernacular. I think it's just we are wasting such a perfect vital tool. Our eyesight is impeccable and can go for hundreds of feet, and we can still be like, "Yep, I know what's going on over there." For many people, and we have corrective lenses for those who can't. But like, we don't utilize sign language at all. And we're just like, what? What did you say? You know, if you are in a crowded area and someone is 5 feet away from you, you're done. You cannot understand what they're saying or doing. And yet,
a lot of people are teaching their babies sign because they're able to do that before they're able to speak and formulate actual words. So like
awesome.
more is easy and things like that.
Yeah, my nieces learned some of that stuff.
Ah, that's so cool. That's a joke in itself. Like, what was your baby's first word? Well, spoken was mom.
But sign language.
Sign was bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's not as cute, so we're just going to go ahead and... That's great. Anyway, yeah, I think that's fascinating, but I'll stop there before they're out to get me.
Before the fuzz get you. All right. Great job, Rob Ryan.
Yeah, that seems like there's a lot of meat on that bone. I think you could definitely. I think it's a great foundation for a bit.
That was great.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
There's definitely room for like 50 tags. All right. Next up, we got Jarret Bernstein.
Woo!
Okay. I got a short one for you guys today, but I like it. You ready?
Ready?
Okay. My fiance doesn't take compliments well. Whenever she is complimented, whatever the compliment is, she'll immediately do something to try to negate the compliment. So if I'm like, baby, you look so beautiful today, she'll be like, baby, you look so sexy. I don't know which of those should go before the other one, but I like them both as examples. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, I like it. It definitely needs more. I think the second example is kind of, it's lateral movement.
Mm-hmm.
I
had another one. I had another idea.
Okay.
Baby, you're so smart. But fart. But fart. Shut up. Don't look at me. But fart.
I like that. The classic switch for me is going to be... So I think the classic switch for me is going to be, okay, this is what she does. What situations should she not do this in? What compliments can you throw at her where the opposite would be like, why did you do that? Like, I don't know, I just can't, like, oh, thanks, honey. You're so good with our finances. It's just, I couldn't do this without you. You're like, I just wrote a check.
When you proposed, were you like, I've loved you since the day I met you. And she was like, yay.
That's not far off. That's not far off. Yeah.
I would like for a situation where you're like, okay, well, let me try doing the opposite, and then it just backfires on you, where you're like, you look terrible today, and she's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Baby, you're not doing the opposite like you usually do.
So yeah, you could say that first part. I think the example is I like the first example the best. And then you could say, but it does not work the other way because I tried that. I was like, okay, fine, you look ugly, and she didn't talk to me for a week.
Yeah, she does not take insults better. If you're thinking that if I just, what do you call it? Reverse psychology it, then no. The answer is no. She does not care for that.
What tickles me is because most people don't take bad news well, but your fiance doesn't take good news well, that you have to prep Kirsten for good news and for a compliment the same way that I'd have to prep somebody for bad news. So you're just like, honey,
all right, are you sitting down?
Yeah, I hope. Look, I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I know what you're going to say. But I just think those earrings look cute on you. That's. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, get it out of your system. Do what you gotta do. Cheers to Adam Sandler.
Maybe after you you proposed to her, like she showed off the ring, and people started to like say something. You're like, no.
Oh my God, what a beautiful ring! I like that. Some good avenues here. I like preparing her for the compliment the way that you would bad news. Definitely the reverse psychology angle is kind of funny. Yeah, I think that might be it, guys. Might be all the directions we can take this.
Great joke, man.
Thank you.
Good.
All right. Well, that's it for me.
All right. Nice short session. Okay.
Yeah. Next up, we got Patrick.
All right.
Out of curiosity, Jarret, and I just want to know, did you think that I was trying to cut you off and move on? Or did you pick up on the fact that I was hoping that you would not take my compliment?
No, I did not get that bit whatsoever.
I was very confused myself.
Yeah.
I got your bit. I enjoyed it.
Oh, okay. I was hoping that you'd be like, yeah. What's the deal with women?
No, I take compliments very well, bro.
And insults. You're pretty good at it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, next up we got Patrick.
But before Brett Druck,
Don't
I want to tell
forget
people about our
to-
Patreon. Patreon.com/ITA-pod. Exclusive content, or just a good way to support the show. We got extra episodes every month. We do high writing challenges. One of us gets high, the other give us a writing challenge. It's a blast. We have different tiers. You can get stickers and all kinds of fun stuff. But if you just want to support the show, patreon.com/ITA-pod. We appreciate you. You rock, all of our patrons. And now, me. That's how you're supposed to do it. You're not supposed to talk about yourself. You're not supposed to go, Brett.
Really? Because I didn't think yours was any less weird. Next
Well,
up,
I disagree.
me.
Mine's right.
Next up, me.
It just sounded weird because you've said yourself in third person so many times.
I disagree.
And now Jarret
Next
Backstage.
up is me.
I mean, I definitely said it weird, but if I just said next up is me, that wouldn't have been weird.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree.
I knew you would.
Jared Bernstein disagrees. Next up, we got Patrick.
All right. So I have a friend who's super into superhero stuff. He's really into it to the point where the only way that I can make him watch a show that isn't superhero based is to tell him that it's an origin story. He's like, hey man, I'm on season 3 of Desperate Housewives, and I cannot imagine what kind of powers these ladies are gonna get.
That's extremely funny. I like that.
I love that.
Is that the end of it?
That's it. That's all I got. I feel like
I
there's
realized
more.
as I was mid compliment, I was like, oh, maybe I'm cutting off a bunch of tags that Brett has coming.
Well, you're in luck. I didn't write those.
Yeah, let me get those tags right now.
Desperate Housewives is the first. It was like the most like opposite show that first came to mind for me from like a superhero thing, but I'm sure there's something else that I could. I thought maybe if you guys had any ideas on different
RuPaul's
directions to
Drag
take it.
Race.
Oh yeah, well, but I feel like drag queens are also fabulous and stuff. They're kind of like already. It's like too close to superheroes.
That's a very good point.
They have costumes and
Yeah, Mike Lawrence has that bit about drag queens being like superheroes. They even say superhero like things. It's like, hey, sweetie, what's your name? It's not who I am. It's what I've become.
That's a very good point. I didn't even
That's
think
Mike
about
Lawrence.
that.
The only thing that I want that wasn't in the original joke is I want a non-superhero character that is so famous and so well known, and then you turn him into a superhero later. So, and I can't even think of an example of
Dr.
like
Phil.
Dr. Phil.
I like Doctor. Well, yeah, that was actually going to be my thought too. Was that so I've never watched Desperate Housewives, so that's a ding on me. where I'm
neither have I.
Oh, okay. So I wasn't sure exactly what the show is about. And I know that there's multiple of them. So it just diffused the punchline a bit. And I don't mean diffuse like a bomb. Like it was more diffuse as in it was spread out amongst many different characters. But I think Jarret is onto something here where if it's a iconic character that you're like, oh, that's funny. How did so-and-so become this thing? And then I could focus my attention on this one character and make it me laugh harder. But then Desperate Housewives as a second tag, totally, because you're like, because then it's more the absurdity of like, what are these women going to become? Like, this is crazy. There's been 3 seasons of it.
They're the next Powderpuff Girls. The Desperate Housewives. They're like a crime fighting team, like the Justice League. You know,
Watching Kevin Spacey movies is kind of like a villain origin story. You're kind of like, oh, wow, this guy's going to be something bad, and you're like, oh wow, it turned out he was as terrible as we thought he would be.
Yeah, I actually thought of a movie recently. I just thought of a movie, but then I lost it. Or a TV show. Oh, maybe you could do like Breaking Bad as like Meth Man or something.
Sure, I thought about Breaking Bad, but because it has such a strong like somebody becoming something already, I feel like it's a little bit too close to an actual. It is almost an origin story, you know.
It's interesting that you bring this up because like if it's a well-told story, especially a TV show, there should be an arc, and the arc should resemble something transformative. So a good TV show might be tough. So I thought Leedy might be onto something when she says something like Dr. Phil, because you're like,
Dr. Phil actually makes me laugh the most.
Yeah.
I just don't. My question is actually, is it too far to be like, I'm on season 5 of Dr. Phil? Like,
yeah, that doesn't make any sense, really.
But I do kind of like that. I love the absurdism of that.
Because that sounds like a superhero name, at least. Dr. Phil. He's already got the thing before it. It works.
I do like the spin-off nature of Dr. Phil too. It's like, oh, he was a side character on Oprah. But now he's getting his own origin story. Oh, I want to hear more about this. Oh, you got to watch Oprah first. It's part of a whole cinematic universe.
So maybe the premise, because I think actually the problem would be in the premise and like, why would I want my friend to watch Dr. Phil?
Yeah.
That's not believable. But if I'm like, to mess with my friend, I told him that Oprah is actually an origin story.
That's funny.
And he's on like season 7 of Oprah. And he's like, this is gonna be such a crazy arc, and I'm like, wait till you find out that Dr. Phil, the sidekick, gets his own spinoff.
Yeah, or wait till they introduce Dr. Phil. He's got a great arc. He gets his own.
Yeah, I think I just have to really rack my brain and think of the funniest examples. I like Dr. Phil a lot. Like I like how far away from a superhero you could be with that, because it isn't fiction. I mean, to a certain degree.
It's funny.
I don't know if you want to go in this direction, but I did think it'd be funny if the superhero that you came up with had to do with what the final form of that character would eventually be, you know? And so like, yeah, Dr. Phil, he becomes this character called like Best Advice Man or something, you know.
Right. Let's attack it from a different angle. What just are popular TV shows?
Circle.
Lost.
Circle's a
Right
good
now
one.
is pretty big.
Squid Game,
Squid Game's big.
Survivor.
Yeah, this actually is harder than one would think, right?
You know what? I'm just gonna Google popular TV shows. See what happens.
It's funny if that's what you usually do when you get bored, Brett. So it's like we're doing a different joke one that's not about TV shows, and you're like, I'm gonna Google popular TV shows.
Like
Nothing else for my joke about my fiance not being able to take compliments. I'm gonna Google popular TV shows.
I got one. So the only way I can get him is tell him it's an origin story. So now I have him watching Friends, and he's like, "Oh my god, I can't wait to see when they become super."
That's great. The Super Friends. That's perfect. They become the Justice League. That's great. Yeah, Friends, of course. Like that's a nice, long-standing show.
The Brady Bunch.
Ooh, what about?
the Brady
I feel
Bunch.
like this has a lot of potential, but I'm not really sure where yet. The Bachelor, because that sounds like a superhero, you know?
Yeah. His
Sure.
kryptonite is like on a ring. He's like, no, I must remain the Bachelor. Someone keeps trying to put a ring on it. Ah, yeah.
Is there a story like I'm looking at House right now, and
Yeah.
does he die at the end of House?
No,
Anybody know? I know he's like sick.
he fakes his own death at the very end.
Okay. I was hoping it would be like a fun thing where like the main character actually ends up dying, and then my friend is just like, "What? I thought he was gonna get powers and be okay." You know,
funny.
I just thought that kind of like that letdown would be funny.
Oh, that's funny.
I'll keep looking. Seinfeld.
Seinfeld could be a really funny one.
It's perfect in all the ways where it's like a single character. It's clearly not anything to do with that. It just ends after 9 seasons, and you're like, so did he become the thing? You know, and then whatever his final form is kind of funny too. Where it's like,
Now he's super asshole.
You know what would be a good one because he was always doing like crazy experiments is Home Improvement.
oh, that's funny. Yeah, he became Tool Man. Oh no, it's the Tool Man.
Yeah, Tim. Well, he's known as Tim the Tool Man, right? On
Tim
that
the
show?
Tool Man Taylor.
Yeah, he's got his little grunts and stuff. It's okay. We're getting somewhere.
So you know what? If you tweak it just slightly, because you originally said you wanted to get your roommate into shows, and then you tried
Right.
to fudge it, whatever. But like maybe if you narrow it to shows you grew up on specifically, it's just like I'm trying to get my friend and my roommate into like some of the shows that I grew up on, or something like that.
Right.
Then you can just hit those examples, and I would never question it as an audience member why you keep on naming 30-year-old TV shows or 20-year-old TV shows.
Right. Yeah, because I have a younger roommate or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, right. 90s television shows just have more of a here is the premise or here is the person, and it's just so much more defined in that sense. It's like he's a guy and he likes tools. Here's a show about him, and here's this is about an alien from space, and he's a puppet.
This show is about Frasier. This show is about Murphy Brown. This show is about Seinfeld.
Right.
Ooh, Golden Girls is a good one too.
Oh, that's great.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Betty White's still alive, right? She's still walking around. It's crazy.
I don't know about her mobility, but she's definitely alive.
My joke about her was
Oh, that's kind of funny. Is that all the expressions about someone being alive still? They insinuate a level of mobility that the person might not have. So it's like Betty White, she's still kicking, right?
I think that's all she's
She's still
doing.
walking around, right?
Well,
All right.
thanks, guys. That's very helpful and lots to play with there. All right. Well,
Great turn, Brett.
thanks. Oh, look who's being positive for a change. I think it's time for
Leedy, Doodles, Leedy. She's gonna draw a picture. She's gonna show us, and we're gonna have some fun. Yeah.
That
woo.
was amazing.
Right.
That was so good.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God, there's 2 Leedies. Which one do I shoot?
Quick, Leedy, draw something that only I've seen.
All right, here we go. First up, I've got
Uh,
Brett.
Love it.
for people watching this, you can see the similarity. I'm not crazy.
Well, she drew me.
I'm saying no, but the background, even the color of your skin and everything.
That really sounded like some of the people in the merch line recently. Like, oh my God, that kind of looks like me. Yeah, because I drew it like that. That I have. I got my nails did. Hey!
You guys can see
Jarret
the
being
similarity,
adorable.
though, right?
Yeah, I see it.
You can see how Jarret looks like
color of
that.
the skin.
Boo. Boo. What's funny is that Rob does have his nails did.
I do have my nails.
Yeah,
done
it
in
is
blue.
funny.
Nice. That was
It's
a
a
very
funny
nice
story
color.
too. We should talk about that next time.
Okay. Nah, I don't want to talk about it. I don't like
He
being
wants
prompted.
to talk about the
What if it was a video game called
Video
How You Got Your
games.
Your
Video
Nails Done?
games. This is my video game called Meta Gear. It's from Facebook.
Next I
Is it
have
just
All
Metal Gear?
Lips Matter. That's old man Jarret.
Oh, lips
more
matter.
I was trying to go along with the you're
Remember when
getting
you were
to be an
becoming
old
MAGA?
curmudgeony, right-wing man the more you stay at Airbnbs. Oh well.
No,
No, I get it. I get it, lady.
Great. Well, here's another one along the same premise. Don't tread on my lawn.
All right.
And then I have
But also, he's like, this chair is so uncomfortable. Why would you buy this chair? It
doesn't go with this porch.
It doesn't go with this.
It doesn't fit. It's weird.
The rocking app isn't working.
Oh, God.
What's the Wi-Fi for this chair?
Then I have Rob's wardrobe, the perfect wardrobe.
That's awesome.
I like that it's
All
not different bits.
bits.
It's all Middle Eastern bits. That's why he keeps confusing it. He's got too many.
Someone from Dubai who I made friends with did watch our episode when I was trashing Dubai, and they're like, "Hey man, I hope this was earlier on in the week when you." And I was like, "Oh
Oh, no.
man!" And I messaged him back because he's Emirati, and I was like, I really enjoyed speaking to all the people who had some kind of roots there. I liked talking to the Emiratis there. I was like, it was the 50-year-old like white businessmen that I just didn't
Right.
seem to be as interested.
Yeah,
in. That was all.
that seemed like who you were shitting on in the episode,
Yeah.
as far as
Yep.
I recall.
And that's who you were doing the show to, right? Was the
Oh yeah, mostly right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
I mean,
that makes sense.
yeah, exactly. Mhm.
last but not least, I have and now the moment you've all been waiting for. Me.
See, it's totally normal.
Absolutely normal. And that is it for me.
Yay! LeedyCorbin.com.
Leedy Corbin.
Yeah.
Leedy Corbin. Thanks so much, Leedy. That was awesome. Great episode, guys. Anything
Yeah.
else? And you can find the outro right here.
Thanks so much for watching. Check back every Monday for new episodes, or you can listen wherever you enjoy podcasts. If you want to help support the show, tell your friends how much you like Is This Anything? Or get involved, like an episode, share, comment, subscribe. If you want more Is This Anything, you gotta join our Patreon at patreon.com/ITAPod. We have a ton of awesome exclusive content on there, and you can join for as little as $1 a month. Check out the links in the description, and hopefully we'll see you next week.